You go in there, you approach these matters in a calming situation. You diffuse the situation where it doesn't escalate into a violent situation, which that did. And it was apart on both parts. But me coming in as a board member, I'm looking at the office because you're responsible to keep everything calm again. And when you let it escalate, you was wrong. And then if you're a board member, you there and you ain't saying anything, now you become part of that problem. Because somebody should have intervened and diffused that situation before it got to where it was at. My thing is, training needs to be in place. Because like I said, the only training I had since I've been there was trying how to set the election up, not how to perform as a board member. I had to take time on my own, and really, I looked at the book. I can't remember the code book thing, but I looked at the book and I read it. And the board is my responsibility. What it's saying is, as a board member, to make sure Mr. Collins have everything he needs in place to set up an election, and to come in and make rulings over situations that arises. There's nowhere in that book where it states where I should be a board member in there doing day-to-day operation, putting people in the system to register them to vote, sending out ballots. Now, if he needs assistance, I can come in and control the traffic or make sure everything is calm, but to do a day-to-day operation, and I didn't see it in there.
I have a few comments that I'd like to address. My name is George Boston Ryan, for the record. I just want to say, on the day of the election, I went to this meeting. I didn't hear it on TV or radio, nothing about their monthly meeting or what have you, and I'm just wondering if it was advertised, number one. But after getting there, just walking into the polling, that was election day, and when I walked into the polls, and of course you'll see that on the video, which I'm going to give you a DVD. I just happen to have one, so I'm going to give you one for you. Yes, sir. Of the entire Board of Election meeting, except for the video part. The video part is on YouTube. That's because the camera went out, but I think I may have the Capitol where I showed the Capitol, and I put the words with the Capitol showing, because this is a state of Georgia problem. So what I did, because my camera didn't get the visual, my tape recorder, like I'm doing here, is a backup. So I played that with showing the Capitol around Governor Nathan Deal's office, so he could see that we have problems out here in South Georgia, which is a reflection upon our state. Okay, also, another thing, that when I went into the polling, I did not see not one black person working in the polling place there. In other words, the people that checked the ID and actually get the work done, there was no blacks at all. Now, that may not be nothing wrong with that, but here we go again, like Brother Cunningham said, that's the perception. And where the perception is, sometimes that creates a problem. Also, now, during this meeting, I'm retired military, and I've been involved in politics ever since '71. And for me to see the chairman of the Board of Election, I don't know her personally, but who did not even know that I had a right to record a public meeting in the state of Georgia, I found that kind of unbelievable. And of course, you'll see that on the video as well. She asked me what was I doing, and I explained that to her. Then, when I said to her that what was being discussed may need to go into an executive session, and to see that undoubtedly she possibly didn't know how to go into an executive session. Here again, you'll see that on the video. Then when she suggested we just closed the meeting. Well, somebody in the audience, I don't remember exactly who it was, maybe J.C. Cunningham, asked a question and said, well, you can't close a meeting like that. And I don't know whether she getting $8,000 or $9,000 a year in salary, but it just seemed like to me that somebody should get at least that much money, ought to know those basics as I see it. And so I just want somebody in the state of Georgia to recognize that we do have serious problems down here. And once again, it was also brought up by, I think it was Dr. Denner, and I believe she was the president of the Brooks County School Board of Education. But she asked a question about the minutes, and really this is what started everything. She asked, and this was far into the meeting, you'll see this on video too. And then she said, when the meeting gonna start? Nobody had approved the minutes. Nobody had approved the agenda for the meeting.
He didn't call it to order either.
And they never called the meeting to order. Here again, now somebody getting $8,000 to $10,000 a year, seems like to me they ought to know that those are basics, things that you do. Now also, so I'm just going to close. And what's your name again, sir?
Glenn Archie.
Glenn Archie, I would like for you to, during your investigation, to think about something here in South Georgia. Check the Valdosta Daily Times. Check ABC, NBC, and CB, the local television stations. And see, as you compare what our major news media reported about this very serious election process in Brooks County. See what was reported to as well as the Quitman-Brooks, to see if all this information that's on this DVD could have been lost forever if a little independent person like myself had not recorded it. What I'm about to put in your hands to give to Secretary of State Brian Kemp and hopefully Governor Nathan Deal can understand how it is important for the active duty people at Moody Air Force Base, Valdosta State University, people who come to the city from Wiregrass go to Wiregrass Technical College, people who visit Wild Adventures Theme Park, and all these historical visits, locations. If they read the newspaper, they will think that they are getting the news. But as you watch this DVD, as Paul Harvey would say, think about what the general public did not get because we don't have a news media to report the story. Now, I'm about to close. Isn't it strange that in 2012, with all the high technology that we have in this country, yet this particular public meeting and what transpired would have been lost forever. In other words, when our children graduate from school and to go back and check the Quitman Free Press to say what happened on July, 16, 17, what was it?
17.
17. On July the 17th, what took place in Brooks County? Well, let's look at the Valdosta Daily Times. Nothing. Well, let's check the TV station and then the tapes left. What happened? Nothing. Let's check the Quitman Free Press. What happened? Nothing. So now look. Now this is only one incident. So let me be quiet because I'm not the right person to be talking. But I will say this. There is serious problems, not only here in Brooks County, with the word getting out to the general public. CNN, all national news media, as far as I'm concerned, should be focused on Brooks County because something is seriously wrong in this county. And we can't see that with all these, just the people that spoke here today, not to mention the people up in Morgan concerning the Quitman 10. We have serious problems here. And so I'm hoping that you will be independent, that you don't lean toward the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, but that you come straight down the line like Jesus said, in that he said, "You shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set you free." When we go into the armed forces, I did 21 years. They didn't ask me whether I was Democrat, Republican, and black or white really didn't have an issue. What they wanted was a man to take that mountain and dodge bullets to make sure that freedom of the press and freedom of speech and that the Vietnamese had a right to open government. And if we don't have an open government here in Brooks County and in the state of Georgia, then I do not recommend any child, especially from the people who are questioning today if their rights have been violated, I don't think they need to serve in the military in the state of Georgia or the United States of America.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Brown, I missed your call.